Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get going. Okay, welcome to the Umpires session today. My name's Alan Clarke. I'm currently the Chair of the State Umpire Committee. A little bit of history on me. I've been umpiring since 2011. I became a presenter and assessor in 2015, and in about 2018 I was then allowed to be umpire educated by the women's bowls then, and I'm from the Mudgee Bowling Club. So I've been on the State Umpires Committee since we amalgamated the two bowls associations. And earlier this year I accredited as an ITO. So that's basically my background. Probably the reason I became an umpire is because I was conned in a game. So I was told by a person that knew. So I was conned, and that started me off on the umpiring role. So, yeah. So welcome. I will just enforce that this session is being live streamed. So if it gets up bad and you want to throw things at me, just be aware you'll be on the screen. When you ask a question, you can put your hand up. We've got Trish over there who's got a microphone you'll have to speak into, so it's recorded on their live session. Okay? So we'll go through a couple of things. So basically today we'll cover a couple of laws. We've got about 3 laws. The umpires kit, it seems to be a growing concern amongst a lot of places, so we're going to have a bit of a chat about the umpires kit. And then we're going to a thing that's come up a lot with, especially over the last 12 months, we're still having issues with how you apply to becoming an umpire or re-accreditate as an umpire. So we've just got a bit of a session on that. Then there's a couple of policies I just want to bring to light. I know when I was at the Women's State Championships, I was asked a couple of questions and I said, no, that's wrong. So I thought, well, I'll bring it into here and just clarify a couple of things for you. The yourself one is basically yourself, how you deal with things and how you cope with things. I didn't originally have it on. After listening to Karen Murphy talk this morning, I thought it's something I'll include in for umpires, so yeah. And then at the end of that, we'll have a questions and answers. I'll deal with the law. If you've got any questions on that, ask, put your hand up. Trish will come with the microphone. We'll kind of keep it at a bit of a minimum, and then at the end, we'll have the main questions and answers. If you ask me about clarifying some law, we'll have to wait to the end because I haven't got my law that I can deal it with you. So, questions of law. This one was sent to me. That's why I thought it might be a good one for you to start off. Can a result of an end be changed after both players controlling their head have agreed on the number of shots and indicated to their skips, and then one of the players saw that they had not considered one bowl? Okay. The laws basically cover that are the definition C7, which is about what defines an end, and then you got Law 22, which there goes on the shots, refers to what's shot and how you determine the shots and what you do. And introduction is one I've included in this because, as you know, there's circumstances where probably a law mightn't cover anything. However, you can use the introduction, a bit of common sense, and use that to solve a lot of problems. Anybody use the introduction on solve something? No? It does get used. So the answer is yes. If both the following conditions apply: that neither the bowls that were agreed upon in the original count as per Law 22.6 nor the jack have been moved, the players in a single game or the opposing players and skips in a team game agree then that the bowl can be measured if it is possible. If both the above conditions have not been agreed upon, then the end is deemed completed and the original shots declared remain. So it can happen, but it takes that agreement. Okay? I know what it says in the law. Yes, up.
Is there any say it's 5 or 10 seconds after they've declared the head, can they then go back? Is there a set time?
I think, look, within 5 or 10 seconds, 9 times out of 10, the bowls have been moved. So no, if the bowls have been moved, that's it.
If the bowls haven't been moved, they can?
I think what we look at the introduction bit of common sense on that. If they're going to leave, they're turned around, they still haven't seen it and they're doing things, and then they see it, I'd say no.
I'll tell you the only reason I asked. This come up on Facebook over the weekend and there was so many yeses and nos, and this one particular person said, well, show me in the law book where it is.
Well, that's what I've explained to you, is how you do it. One, none of the bowls have been moved, and you need agreement of both players in singles, or the skips, more the skips in a team game, because they're declared. If one of them says, no, I want to leave it, you've got no choice, you've got to leave it. I think there was another one on Facebook similar to that, but a little bit different. Yeah. So is there any other questions on that one? No. Okay, another situation. Regional singles. Player A puts down first bowl and moves the jack about 12 inches, or 300 mil if you're both, we're not quite sure on that one. Marker, lapse of concentration, puts the jack back on the line. When player B steps onto the mat, the marker realises their mistake and puts the jack back where it finished when moved. The end proceeds. Nothing said, the end proceeds. But at the conclusion of the end, player B appeals to the umpire and states she should have been allowed to put the jack, not the marker. Should have been allowed to put the jack back and not the marker. Player A states she had nothing to do with moving the jack and should not be penalised by player B putting the jack where she wants it. This is an actual incident earlier on the year. Okay? Umpire made the ruling to declare the end dead and replay that end. Was this the right decision? No one wants to have a go at that one? Okay, answer. The ruling of the initial movement of the jack by the marker is law 38.3.3, displacement of a jack at rest. That's, if the person appealed straight away, that's how it would have been enacted under law 38.3.3. The jack at rest within the rink of play is displaced by a neutral person. Remember, the marker is a neutral person. Or a neutral object, it must be put back to its former position. If the skips or the opponents in singles cannot agree on the jack's form position, the end must be declared dead. Law 38.3.3 would have been enforced if player appealed after the jack had been initially moved by the marker. However, all the bowls had been delivered by player B before player B appealed to the umpire, and then the umpire should have explained the situation to player B in accordance with the law 9.7. As both players had delivered all their bowls, no one had the right to challenge the legality of the original position of the jack. As the umpire was not called until the end of the last bowl was delivered, then player B had no grounds for appeal. So if you're going to have a situation like that, you should have done something before you even delivered your first bowl if you're a player B. And then it would have been sorted out under 38.3.3. All right, that one? The umpire then should have instructed the two players to decide which bowls were shot and advise the marker of the number of shots and start a new end. The umpire should have also explained the circumstances to the mark in accordance with the laws 9.7 and law 42. Any questions on that one? Okay. This one comes up a lot, a hell of a lot. Are players submitted to roll the bowl to decide who has the mat? Anybody got a yes on it? It's good to see we haven't got a yes. Okay. Law 5.2.1. The coach is in a side game or in their absence, representative of the side, skip in a team game or opponents in the singles must toss a coin. And if you have a tied game at the end, you've got to play an extra end, then you must toss it again. Okay? The old bowl, rolling the bowl, must not be done. Still see it? I have a thing with social. If you do things in social, there's a good chance you'll do them in a game of bowls. Jerry.
What's the actual penalty if they don't do it?
If I saw it before that game started, I'd tell them to toss a coin. That's your best thing. If you see it at the start, you see him rolling the bowl and just about to pick up Jack, I'd stop him. Say, no, you must toss a coin. Well, if the umpire didn't see it, can't do much about it. Can you? Yeah, no, it should be the players. Yeah. Any others on that? As I said, if you don't see it as an umpire, or unless one of the players or one of the skips objects and calls the umpire, it just keeps going. We have an accredited umpire at our club. When nobody's watching, will roll the bowl. Big pun? Yeah, I know. But they're things that happen. You can only do what you see or what's appealed to you as an umpire.
How do you decide who tosses the coin in singles? Which player? Do you toss a coin to decide who tosses the coin? But some people toss them and it doesn't spin around.
It doesn't matter who tosses it, as long as it's done by the player, a player. Okay? Yep.
When you're teaching, the
Yeah,
markers...
that law, that's getting changed.
So it's getting changed now?
I can guarantee you that what we've got with how it's been updated, and if you want it, you just got to ask, we can send it to you. In the markers course, just the P&As, if you're a P&A, you've got any P&As here?
Yes, I do.
In the markers course, we've taken that out.
Thank you.
We do it as per, it's quoted in what we got.
We have it now.
It should on the resources. We can get it to you if you haven't. Do you use the?
Got it.
Do you use the like PowerPoint? PowerPoint display?
We do, yes.
I can send you a. I'll see if I've got. If I
I'll
can,
talk to you later.
Yeah, I can send it to you if you wish. If you're a P&A, I can send that to you. Is there any others? This is another one that's been coming up very frequently. Umpires' kits. Umpires' kits, if you go around different clubs, you see a range of different things. Basically, all the stuff in the umpire's kit must be approved. I mean, your calipers and that you can get somewhere else, but all your measuring devices must be approved by Bowls Australia. Homemade ones, and I've seen a couple. I've seen a homemade orbital, and it was unusable, but that club still use it. I don't know how they use it. They've been told not to use it. So basically, on our website, we've got two lots. You've got the basic equipment documents for a kit. Chocks and wedges, spikes or skewers, feeler gauge, minimum 32 blade, white card reflective strip or plastic strips, not mirrors, not little mirrors, calipers, box string measure, long measure tape, liner cider, or that's just a basic kit, so we'll leave the other part. A 20 to 35 metre tape and a set square. That's what we recommend you should have in a basic umpire's kit. as far as equipment. That will cover you on everything you have to do as an umpire. Documents. Now this, I don't know how many kits I've seen, they don't have an umpire's folder. We've got to remember we're umpires, we're not just glorified measurers. So in the umpire's folder, Bowls Australia policies, instantaneous penalties, bowls testing form, personal electronic devices policy, artificial devices policy. They're the Bowls Australia one. Bowls New South Wales, current conditions of play. I did a course at a club and the conditions of play were 2 years old. So it does happen. If you're one of the main umpires at your club, you should be looking at these every year when it changes to make sure you've got the up-to-date one. Uniform policy. You may have seen that Bowls Australia have released a new logo policy which really goes back to where you've got to have your Bowls Australia marking on socks and certain things like that. At the moment, in New South Wales, we go by the Bowls New South Wales uniform policy. Because I have had a couple of phone calls saying why, but Bowls New South Wales uniform policy is what we go by. Extreme weather guidelines, bowls and jack displacement chart. How many bowling clubs here have a parent club? You'll find we're the same at Mudgee. We're a sub-club of our parent club. They have their weather policy, so we go by their weather policies. You can, as a bowling club, use the Bowls New South Wales weather policy as a guide and write up your own. Because temperatures and weather in different areas, remember we're a big state, so temperatures and different weather, especially like if you look at the northern rivers, anything southeast Queensland up that area gets it. It's a different weather pattern. So you can do one that is more suitable to your localised area. Okay? Any questions on those policies?
Just to clarify, whose job is it actually to have the current conditions of play for Bowls New South Wales one and any tournament that you're running or championship?
Your bowls conditions of play are there for like your 4 major championships.
No, that's not my question. Whose responsibility is it? Would it be your chair of umpires?
Well, if you're like our club, we don't have chair of umpires. I just take on the role and make sure it's up to date. If you've got senior umpire there or a couple umpires, get together once a year or a bit often if you wish, and then make sure that your folder is up to date.
Thank you.
Okay? Any other questions on that?
Carry on with it, or can you stop?
With an artificial arm, just say it again. Say it again in the microphone.
If you've got an artificial arm, bowling arm, not an artificial arm, a bowling arm, and you start the game with the bowling arm, can you stop and start playing with your hand?
No.
What about the other way round?
If you start a game, if you start a game just using your hand, bowling normal, halfway through you're experiencing your back problem which you have, you can take up your bowling arm, but you must continue that for the rest of the game. You can deliver a jack with your hand, and still once you use a bowling arm, you don't have to deliver the jack with your bowling arm. Okay, but once you start, that's just with bowl, you must complete that game with it.
Ellen, is that in black and white? Her question.
Is that what?
I'm asking, is it in black and white?
Artificial devices. There was up there the Bowls Australia one, artificial devices.
Okay. No, I had that question asked last year and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it is. If you wish to, two ways you can get the Bowls Australia devices. There's 2 ways. You can go on the Bowls Australia site and go into officiating.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, I'm just saying where you can get things like Bowls Australia devices. Or you can go onto our web page, our officiating web page, resources, click on that, click on Bowls Australia, and that'll take you to the Bowls Australia site where all their policies are.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, and I do advise you, that one especially, it was a good question because it comes up, that you do have that copy of that within your umpire's kit.
Thank you very much.
Use the extended arm?
No, you do not. No. It's only the jack that you don't have to use it. You use it for the... If you're bowling with your bowling arm, right, and you win an end, so you're going to deliver the jack, you do not have to deliver the jack with the bowling arm.
Thank you.
Any other?
You can use the jack just with the arm, just for rolling the jack and then bowl normally.
No, you're using it. No, once you use it, you must use it for your bowls. The only one it doesn't apply for is when you're using it and you don't have to use it for the jack. All right? So these are some of the other suggested items you can have in your kit for, you know, a little bit extra for your basic. Your tremels, your orbital, laser measure, royal measure, long string or peg measure. You've seen that. So there are just a couple of extra things you can get into it. Okay, this is our recommended equipment. See, it's a lot longer than the last one. Chocks and wedges, spikes and skewers, feeler gauge, minimum 32mm blade, white card, reflective strip or plastic strips, calipers, box string measure, telescopic measure, long string or peg measure, long tape measure, boundary scope or line sider. Take your pick on that. 25 to 30 metre tape and a set square. Okay, is there any that's your top of your line. If you had most of that in, I've got my own kit with the tremels, total about $1,400. I highly recommend that you buy a kit in pieces to suit your club rather than getting the made kits, because then you can just get what you know you need for the thing. The other thing I'd include with this, and it might sound a bit strange, is a zip-up pencil case. You can put your calipers, your feeler gauges, your chocks, everything like that, and your skewers into your pencil case. And if you get called out, you can probably use, like I use laser, I can take the laser and that pencil case out and do nearly every measure. So it's a good idea just to do something like that. Okay, the current laws are the same, or the current information your umpires file is the same. So it only varies with what equipment you have. Yes?
Is there any restriction on the use of a laser, and what type of laser measure are you allowed?
Well, your laser measures should not be used under 300mm or 1 foot, whichever way you want to look at it. They have a recommendation up to 1.5 metres, but you can use it longer. I've gone out to 2.5 metres on a sunny day with mine. The State Umpires Committee recommends the use, and so recommends the use of the Bowls Line or Bowls Line Australia laser. It's one of the first. It was the first brand of laser that come out. They're the ones we recommend, especially if it's calibrated to 4 decimal places. So your measurement can get down to 0.1 of a mil. Since I've had it, since I've recalibrated, I've had 2 draws in about 4 or 5 years. Where before, you're getting draws all the time.
Can I use that in any game?
What, the Bowls Line?
The laser.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
At this stage, yes. Hang on, there's somebody over here.
Alan, I think I can recall last year's conference, the orbital, was that not to be in use? Is that in use now?
What's that?
The orbital.
Orbital is not made. It's still an approved instrument by Bowls Australia to be used, but it's just not made anymore. I'm not aware that it's made anymore.
All right. So if you've got one, you can still use it.
Yes.
It's approved. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Trish.
So with the orbital, is it recommended not to use it on a carpet green?
I have seen on, I'll say synthetic, and I've seen it on carpet, and they've done something to the bottom. You used to be able to get them without the pegs in them. So people put on how can I say, some type of material on the bottom so it doesn't slide.
Sorry. And that modification is okay with Bowls Australia? I mean, that's
Modification?
You're modifying the orbital.
No, you're not allowed to modify them.
Yeah, so putting...
I don't know, I'm not a mechanic, I don't know how you, and at our a certain brand had it for your synthetic or carpet thing. Haven't seen them since. So, yeah, so I will be more aware. You cannot modify any of the equipment unless it's approved by Bowls Australia. So if you modify something, we had not long ago another laser that was approved by NOAG. It's similar. The laser unit is the same unit used on a bowls line, and he was not allowed to sell that or do anything until Bowls Australia approved it, and they have approved it. That's up around Coffs Harbour area. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I've umpired at 2 different clubs, and in both the umpires' kits, I haven't noticed a set square, and I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't.
A set square.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in the 2 kits. Well, I haven't noticed it in the 2 kits that I've used at 2 different clubs, and I'm not familiar with it.
You know what a set square is?
Yep.
So your set square, if you're going to do a boundary check on a jack, but you've got 2 bowls either side or in front of it where you can set up your line sider. What you do with a set square, you bring it and you have it against the side of the jack that's facing the rink of play, right? And then you go out and you can see whether that's in or not. Okay? We've got, we did ours, you can secure them with a skewer, but we've got a plate on ours, so we don't have to worry about that securing it with a skewer. Yeah. Yeah, in the officiating manual. Yep. Okay, and that's the extra bits of equipment you can have in the recommended kit. Yep, if it's approved by Bowls Australia, yes.
Sorry, just go back on the laser. How far did you say that you measure between the bowl?
You can't go under 300 mil or under a foot with it.
Okay, all right.
And they recommend in the officiating manual, they recommend 1.5 metres. However, you can use it up. They say up to 5 metres.
Okay.
I've done ours on our surface. I've gone out to a 2.5 metre measure with no difficulty.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, the following instruments must be approved by Bowls Australia. Box string measures, telescopic measure, long stringer peg measure, long measuring tape. That's the one that comes with the frame. Boundary scope, line and cider, which is, you want to see some of the ones floating around that people have done themselves. Very ordinary. The Tremels, orbital, laser measure and royal measure. They must be approved. I know some clubs do their own little things, but Technically, you are not allowed to use them. Okay, where to purchase equipment from? This is some of the minor stuff it doesn't really need the approval of Bowls Australia. Spikes and skewers, reject shop. Go there, cheapest place, the entree. The wedges. Now you've seen if you go to a hardware shop, they've got little window wedges or door wedges. I don't like them because the slope of them. You can't get it really to support the bowl. But if your club doesn't, especially the umpires have got to buy their own, or your club is not they struggle, they keep going, there is some place where it cuts down on your cost of an umpire's kit. Tool outlets, feeler gauges, calipers, and the 25 to 30 metre measuring tape. You can get them from a tool shop, hardware shop. Okay? And I do recommend in your kit you have a little Phillips head screwdriver. So when you place, this is on grass, not on artificial greens, when you place the edge of your tape against the mat line, you can secure it and it doesn't ride up. If you use the skewer, they ride up the skewer, the little part of the tape, and you can end up, you've got your skewer bent over. So just a recommendation that they do work better. Okay? So here we go with the laser. Please be aware, laser measures recommend for measuring distance 30 centimetres or 300 millimetres to 1.5 metres. Can be used for measuring distance up to 5 metres. It is not permitted to use the laser measure for measuring between a jack and bowl if either the jack or the bowl is in the ditch. There is a particular brand, they have a video on their site that shows them using a card against it. You are not allowed to. Simple as that. The only equipment that can be used for measuring involving a jack or bowl in the ditch is a long string or peg measure, the long tape, that's the one on the frame, or the box string measure. They're the only 3 devices you can use to measure from the green into the ditch. No ifs or buts, that's it. Okay, now we over the last 12 months, we seem to be getting a bit of a wrangle about applying to being a accredited umpire or re-accredited. So I'm just going through the steps so you are aware of it. It is now compulsory for members seeking accreditation and re-accreditation for national official, it's a marker, measure and national umpire, to have a current work with children certification. Your application will not go through unless you upload a copy of your work with children, and you must maintain a current one. I think if you're in the integrity lecture they're going on about children's safeguard, this is why we've brought it in. Big pardon? Annual, no, I think they go for about 5. The work with children certification that you go through, you can do it online or you go to the Services New South Wales, 5 years. The only difficult part is women might have to have a marriage certificate, because it's, especially if you technically go by your married name, you've got to have a marriage certificate. If you go in there and say you go through your maiden name but your licence is different, they will tell you to go and get a marriage certificate or whatever to prove who you really are. And that's come from Services New South Wales. Right? Any questions on that?
Incidents with childcare, there was some talk about the online accreditations not being adequate. Has that impacted on the accreditation for a bowls umpire?
As far as I'm aware, the legal way of doing it, you've got 2 choices, online or you go to Services New South Wales. That's the New South Wales legislation. We do not read the rules. We, as a sporting body, can say this is what you'll need. I know a lot of people have objected to it, but that's It's been a long, hard discussion we've had within the State Umpires Committee, and it's been over a 12-month period that before we made it compulsory. We gave them that chance to get it. Now it's compulsory. Sorry.
And yet you allow children to play with adults without having their work with children certificate. So that's a real grey area.
Yeah, teaming up with an area is it's a strange way. Your coaches have got to have a WWC, and our umpires have got to have it. That'd be a thing then, as you as a player, would be something you'd have to look at your club.
But then you're making the markers have it, and the markers are nowhere near the children either, are they? Like a player with them is closer.
Well, it's a national official. That's what we take it. But then again, 12 months later, you could then decide to become an umpire. We're doing what we can as a sporting body to ensure some form of safety for people under the age of 18.
I understand that, but I think you're making it very difficult for volunteers. Most of the markers are volunteer markers. And I'm a Kiwi, obviously you can probably tell that. I'm finding it very difficult to get a work with children certification. I had to ring the Home Affairs yesterday, and it goes right back to, I've been here 7 years, and it goes back to a visa situation for me to proceed with it. And I don't know if I'm really prepared to do that. I've got nothing to hide, but I don't want to go through all that paperwork.
What you do, are you seeking accreditation as a marker?
I am a accredited marker.
Yeah, well, you would have got that before we brought this in.
That's right.
When you apply to re-accredit, then you will have to have the WWC.
Well, I guess I don't mark anymore then.
You can still mark, but you won't be an accredited marker if you don't apply.
Well, that's a grey area too then, if you let people that are just volunteers just mark that don't have the marker certification, so then they don't have work with children either.
That is a club policy then. It's not a policy governed by the state. It's a policy within your own club. They can make you do it if the club wants you, but to seek an accreditation, it's our policy.
I think you need to relook at it.
Well, we've looked at it for a while, but I'll take your question on land. I'll have a talk about something. Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
They also request that the one parent or person responsible that brings the child to the game has the child under observance at all times.
Yep, that's a good idea. That's a club thing they're doing to prevent anything. That's good. Okay. Bowls New South Wales procedures for applications officials were introduced to maintain efficiency and accountability. Applications for national officials can be submitted by the applicants or by their club, region or on their behalf. The applicants will need to purchase a current law book and officiating manual from Bowls New South Wales or Bowls Australia prior to attempting an accreditation or re-accreditation course. If you are attempting an accreditation or re-accreditation course for measure or national umpire, you must be able to kneel on the playing surface and get up without any physical assistance. We've allowed people to use a small walking stick to help them get up, but you cannot have somebody lift you up. Okay? Bending over from the waist is not acceptable. Chair State umpires may approve other suitable styles for measuring. And we have done that this year. A lady was able to squat down and get as low as I can on my knees to do a measure. She was put through very difficult measuring regimes. She carried them out without any effort, did it easy. So we approved her to use that style. I call it the Chinese squat, so please don't take me as That's what I've always known it as. And she was able to get down, right down low, as much as I could with my knees, and get up again. So we will look at things.
So when you're applying for reaccreditation, and in that period of time you've become difficult to kneel down, right? You just said that the State Umpire Committee can approve a suitable way of doing things.
Yeah, that's what I just explained.
How do you get to that person to do it with you?
That particular incident happened at the Women's Bowl State Carnival.
I didn't hear that, sorry.
That particular incident I was talking about happened at the Women's State Carnival.
Yeah.
A lady came up and spoke to us. There was myself, and two other state committee members. One of them assisted me, and we put her through some tests on difficult measures. Basically, your ones you've got to be really down on your knees. It take time. Is the calipers and the feeler gauges. We put her through that. Another test right on the ditch, and she did it.
Right, so there is room.
Yes.
When somebody...
Yeah, that'll be approved by your state committee member for your region. They'll put you through it, and then I'll write out the authority if it's not in my area.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Just a quick question.
Sorry.
Measuring.
Yes.
If you can't get down low enough, can you ask someone else to put the measure against the jack and then you extend? This has happened at our club recently.
It's normally, if you have somebody to assist you, you put the end, say, a string measure, box string measure, you put that against the jack. You can get them to hold it while you go out and deciding end. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, yeah. All they can do is hold it for you. Okay, I won't go into full details on this because I don't want to really run out of time. So basically, if you want to you've got two choices of doing an accreditation. It's what we call face-to-face accreditation. Is the first one. You go onto the Bowls New South Wales website, officiating, click on it, get involved, then officiating, and scroll down, and you'll see choices, and there'll be one of them how to become how to be accredited, how to become an official. You scroll down that, and you'll see the application. You'll have either a individual or a group one, and you click on and go through what you've got to do. Okay, you must. For that application to proceed, you must pay it by credit card or debit card. There will be a part once you've done all the information, you click on that and then you've got to give the payment details. Okay, and it'll also have an area where you've got to upload your WWC. Is there any question? They do take, with the person we have as our secretary or manager for umpires and officials, we've got it down, we're putting out 2 lists of accreditations every month, roughly. Now, in a busy period. She's really done a good job to get the process quicker. It's not a 3 or 4 week wait anymore. I'll see you after it and we'll get that sorted. I've got another lady who's got the same. I'll see you after the meeting. The other one is the Bowls Learn. This is the one that we really do have problems with. The Bowls Learn one is that you go on to your Bowls Link account. On the left-hand side of the Bowls Link account, you'll see a number of different places you can click onto. One will be Bowls Learn. Click on that. Click on course module, course catalogue, then module, and course curriculum. Follow the instructions. The good thing about you can do the Bowls Learn without paying any cost at that stage. The other thing I recommend it for people who have a lot of travelling, because the on green does not last as long as what the face-to-face does. So if you want to do bowls learn, if you make a mistake, you can attempt it again. You can attempt it again until you get it, until you get whatever modules you want. Okay, you do it in your time. It's a lot better if you're a bit time constrained. The other thing is that if you get halfway through that course and you do not want to do the rest of it, you've had enough, you do not get charged anything. However, once you've completed the course, you go back onto the Bowls New South Wales website, you can get involved, click on officiating and how to become an official, and you'll see the individual on-green assessment only. And you can tick which one, if you're doing just marker or measurer, or you're doing the international umpire, and you'll go through the payment details. That's when you have to pay money. Reaccreditation, you click on, there's no bowls learn on reaccreditation. If you, which we do try and stress, if you do have an accreditation, please make sure your email address or your mobile phone information is up to date on your account, because just before your 4 years are up, you'll get notified about it. About 3 months out, you'll get notified that you are due for reaccreditation. Then you can go through this process of click on Get Involved, click on Officiating, and click on How to Reaccredit your official qualification.
I became I don't know if this counts. So if it expired in 2019, and am I still reaccrediting for the marker measure course?
It expired when?
2019.
Well, you'll have to go through the lot again.
Thank you.
While you just mentioned that, you just brought something up now. As of September, I think it was, there'll be no officiating cards issued. You can get access to it on your BowlsLink account. That's all it is now, so that's what it'll show. And if somebody at your club's contesting it, your club administrator will be able to click on and check to make sure you are accredited. Right? What we are very short of at the moment is presenters and assessors. Some of our people are doing a lot of kilometres. So basically you must be an accredited national umpire, must have held the accreditation for a minimum of 4 years. Once again, being an umpire, obviously you're able to kneel, be assessed by the chair of state umpires or their nominee or nominated state umpire committee member or mentor, and be deemed competent by meeting the BA's presenter, assessor, reaccreditation assessment sheets. So when you apply, you'll be dealt with by the state committee. There's no cost to becoming a P&A. Don't ask you why. It's a Bowls Australia decision. But we are short of them. To maintain your accreditation, presenter assessor, follow the presenter assessor's guide as per the National Officials Accreditation Scheme. Continue to abide by the presenter and assessor's code of ethics, which must be signed and submitted by the presenter assessor accreditation application. Maintain a national umpire or international technical officer's accreditation. Present and deliver at least one officiating course, accreditation or reaccreditation per year.
Assessor,
Yep.
but I let mine go during COVID, so I have to go through the whole process again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We do it, if you let your accreditations for whatever it is last more than 12 months, then yeah, you've got to go through the process again. So this is how if you want to be assessed as a presenter and assessor, you click on the Bowls New South Wales website, click on Get Involved, click on Officiating, scroll down and click on the Presenter and Assessors tab, and then click on an individual booking form. You scroll down, you'll see it, and that you just fill it out. That only goes to Bowls New South Wales, and then we organise things from there. Okay, national. When we talk, that's all. Is there any questions on the accreditations of that at all? Sorry. Okay, when we're talking about policies, the National Merchandise Program logo policy.
Referring back to the question that was just asked about the person whose P&A accreditation had expired, when you say they have to go through the whole course, isn't that assuming that their umpire's accreditation has also expired?
Yeah,
because
not necessarily, no.
If it hasn't, if her umpire accreditation is not expired, then she only needs to go through the presenter and assessor.
Yes, that's what we were talking about before.
Okay.
Okay, the National Merchandise Program logo policies I mentioned before. This is where they're what parts of clothing and everything's got to have the Australian Bowls Australia logo on it. It differs to what's on the New South Wales uniform policy. However, we still go by the Bowls New South Wales uniform policy until it's updated, if that's going to happen. Alcohol policies. These are policies, the next three ones that were updated by Bowls Australia in the end. They seem to create a bit of a hassle. Alcohol policy. That can be set by your club for club events. It can be set by your region for region events. And no doubt it can be set by state for state events, especially if you're hosting them. It's not, Bowls Australia one is a guide. Best practices. We at our club have alcohol policy that is set by our parent club, and that's what we go by. Okay? So when you see something like that, it's a guide for Bowls Australia. Smoking policy is the same. We have a no smoking policy at our club. That was set by our parent club. We go by it. So,
pretty sure that, and it covers sporting.
the smoking policy, there is one out for Bowls New South Wales. If you are hosting a Bowls New South Wales event, like your state championships or state pennant playoffs, things like that, you've got to abide by the Bowls New South Wales policy on smoking. Basically, you've got to set up points where they can go and have a smoke. The weather policy is similar. The weather policy is similar. You can have your own club weather policy because we're a big state, so therefore you've got to go, your climate will be different. I think at your club it's 34 degrees, isn't it, Andrew? So ours is 36 where I come from. So be prepared to set up your own weather policy. Bit of duty of care. Okay, this is one that was inspired by Karen Murphy, yourself as umpires. How many umpires have we got in here? We all umpires? You know for yourself, you do get hassled. And it can be really hard. You're doing the best job you can get hassled. This is where you've got to take a step back and look after yourself. Seek help if necessary. If you feel you need help. I've done it. You've really been hassled. That or put in a complaint and have them dealt with, but make sure you seek help to keep yourself going. It's not a weakness. It's a strength that you've admitted, you do need a bit of help. It's not going to influence your accreditation, but it could make your life a lot easier. So please, look after yourself. Okay? Okay, we've only got a couple of minutes left. Questions and answers.
More a scenario. So scenario is a rink cord was in declaring the end, couple of bowls to be measured. The umpire moved the jack and then moved the two bowls. And then he declared to one side. Anyway, the controlling body was called. The controlling body spoke to the umpire And he said, no, that's it, my decision's final. The controlling body, because the teams requested the controlling body, then said, but the umpire moved the jack and then moved the 2 bowls. Can we not play the end? What should have happened?
Why the umpire?
Could we replay the end?
Why the umpire moved the jack and the bowl?
I might be getting a little bit old.
Unless the only time the umpire can move a bowl is after they've measured it. And they move.
Well, that's when in measuring, so you've moved the jack this way, you've tipped the bowl that way, you've put it back, so it was never ever going to get its proper measure out of it. Now the 2 teams, both teams asked if they could just replay the end. The controlling body had spoken prior to going to that rink, spoken to the umpire, asked if he had another scenario rather than what he had declared, what he had called. Could the controlling body then take from the 2 teams, or do they stick with the umpire?
Well, if the teams it was me. I'd talk to what the team, if they don't agree with, yes, you just say dead end, replay it.
So you don't, so being the controlling body and it's your umpire, do you stand with your umpire's decision, or do you overrule it?
You may correct me here, but if you're looking at displacement of a bowl, right?
That's what it was.
You're
bowls and jack.
The only time that the umpire can put it back is when he's doing it while measuring.
Yeah, it was while he was measuring. He moved it.
Well, he can put it back.
Well, he put it back, but he didn't quite put it back where it was, and so the 2 sides didn't agree. Hang on, I'm asking the question, thank you. And then he's from Bowls, New South Wales, so just want clarification on it, whether it was done.
The law states that if you move a bowl or a jack, that's the umpire while measuring, they put it back.
And that decision stands?
That's it.
Thank you.
Hang on, there was an... I'll get you fit.
Thank you. We had a dispute in our umpires meeting the other day as to where the actual length of jack is. If the jack is 21 metres, like halfway along the jack, is that still in?
How the measurement of the jack's taken?
Yeah.
Is that your question, whether the jack's long enough?
Yeah, the length of the jack, yeah.
Yeah, so it's 21 metres, it's taken from the front of the mat line?
Yes.
To the nearest point of the jack, but before the umpire checks the length, the players must move that jack onto the centre line.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's taken it to the nearest point of the jack.
Okay, so the whole of the jack doesn't have to be in?
No, if it's 21 metres touching the edge of that, on the edge of that jack, then that's it.
Okay, I was wrong.
I think, Alan, the question was, does the whole of the jack have to be in? And the answer to that is yes, the tape has to be in front of the jack. You have to be at the front of the jack. You can't have part of the jack in and part of the jack out.
No, this is a jack mat measure.
Yeah, that's right.
A jack mat measure, part of that jack has to be at least, it can't be, yeah, sorry, I did, yeah.
It's all of the jack has to be in.
Yeah, 21 metres.
That's the question the lady was asking.
The closest point. Once you go over that closest point, if part of that jack's less than 21 metres, it's got to be re-rolled.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, you got the jack, right? Now, I'll use this. You got the jack, you're coming down with a measure. If the 21 metres is there, that jack is not long enough. It's got to be there. Yeah, 21 metres touching the front point of that jack.
Front point of the jack, that's right.
Yeah, sorry. Match that end that way. Do you understand? That's it. If it's there, if that 21 metres is slightly past the front of the jack, it's not long enough. Is that? Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I misunderstood that. Sorry. Is there any others?
Yeah.
an incident happened in the Fours Championships.
Yeah.
2 players had to withdraw before the championships commenced.
Yeah.
So the 2 people that moved into the team, they are the team players because the team isn't constituted. Is that correct?
It depends. If one of them has been replaced by and they classify that one person as a substitute.
No.
No. So before the start of the first round,
yeah, they declared they would not be able to play for the whole of the championship.
So those 2 come in.
Yep.
And they're part of the team.
Now, yes, that's what I thought.
If you look in the DRs, around 2.3, I think, it tells what a team nomination team is.
Well, I was away, and I was one of those players that I found a person to move into my position. And when I came back, that player, because the bowls organiser decided, well, he was a substitute, and allowed him to play in another game. My point is, I came back and the final had been played, and I said, but it's not legal. You can't put that man in the team. Should they play that game again?
If it's before the start of the game, before the start of round 1, if you have 2 people can't play, you've got to withdraw. I have to do it. It then comes under team nomination, they can come in.
Yeah. There were 4 players. 2 ladies couldn't play.
Can I finish answering? Before you start playing, you ask the controlling body, can we change to these 2 players and these 2? These 2 are out. They approve that. They become the intended players.
That's what I said.
If you, however, go and say, Fred can't play, we're going to put Jim in as a substitute, they can approve that as well. You can have a substitute before the first round. So it all depends on what was approved by the controlling body. And unless we've actually got that in writing, we can't judge.
Right, okay. We went to the bowls organiser. One had a knee replacement, out for 3 months. I have a torn rotor cuff. I was not able to play for the 6 weeks. So we said, we can't play. Medically, we can't play. We need to... I asked who was available, and I found a player to replace me, and so did the other lady. So no games have been played. Team wasn't constituted. And we lost the thing. And anyhow, this one man I found was then asked to play as a substitute in the final game. And I said, well, no, that's not legal. The championship, the final game has to be replayed. And they said, no, it's too late.
Yeah, unless that person was delegated as a sub behind you. I'll talk to you afterwards. We've got to finish up because we've got another thing outside. Okay, if you have any other questions, that's your best contact, umpires@bowlsnewsouthwales.com.au. Thank you very much. Apologise for that mistake, but thank you very much for what you